Hello everyone, my name is Chris and I'm a U-Haul hitch professional. Installing a hitch on your Kia Telluride can lead to some amazing adventures, such as biking, camping, or road trips to your favorite destination. You can even tow a U-Haul trailer just about anywhere in North America. Now let's take a look at how we complete this install. You will need the following tools and supplies to complete this installation. Let's begin this installation by lowering our spare tire. You can use the provided hardware that is in the cargo area to do it, or you can use a 9mm socket, perhaps an extension, and put the drill in forward to lower the spare tire. Lower this driver's side underbody panel by releasing 3 clips using a trim panel tool or flathead screwdriver. As well, 2 plastic nuts we will release with a 14mm socket while gently pulling down on the underbody panel. We're now ready to lower our exhaust. Let's go ahead and use a strap to support it. You can now lower the exhaust by removing it from 3 rubber isolators. The first one will be at the rear, just behind the tailpipe. The second one will be just behind the passenger side tire. The third one will be directly below the crossmember where we strapped the exhaust. Now that we've lowered the exhaust on the passenger side frame rail, you'll see our access holes are very close to the heat shield. Once we get the hitch in, putting the bolts through can sometimes be tricky. It may be beneficial to put a couple of divots there, giving you space to access with the bolts. So I'm just going to gently push up with a tool here. On some models, you may find that the hitch contacts the bumper fascia and won't perfectly line up with the holes. In this instance, we're going to follow directions to make a small trim in the fascia. Use a measuring tape and some marking device to line out your dimensions, and then use masking tape as a straight edge. Use an air saw to cut out the notch after you determine it is free from electrical wires. You can use a metal file to clean up frayed plastic. It is best to push in rather than pull out, as you will pull more frayed plastic out. We are now ready to raise the hitch into place. I will be using this U-Haul exclusive hitch jack. If you do not have one, we recommend that you get an extra set of hands because this hitch is very heavy, especially to the driver's side. You can now begin installing your hardware. On the passenger side, use 2 M10 bolts and 7/16 conical tooth washers. Pass them up into the weld nuts in the frame and hand tighten. You can now use the single M12 bolt and the single 1/2-inch flat washer, and now pass it through the hitch and frame rail from the inside to the outside. Some light tapping from another tool, like perhaps an extension, will get the bolt through. Push up on the hitch and give it a few light taps. You can now insert a 1/2-inch conical tooth washer and the single M12 hex nut. Install your remaining 2 M12 bolts and 7/16 conical tooth washers up into the driver's side frame rail. We can now install our 2 1/2-inch bolts and our remaining 1/2-inch conical tooth washers. Start with 2 on the bolt and then pass it through the frame of the vehicle from the driver's side into the center. Now put on a conical tooth washer and hex nut. We are now ready to tighten and torque the hardware to the manufacturer's specifications. They are provided in the directions with the hitch. We will also go ahead and link them for you in the description below. Start first with your M10 bolts. Use a 16mm socket and perhaps a short extension for ease. For your single M12 bolt on the passenger side, use a 19mm socket and a 19mm wrench to tighten and torque. You can also use a 19mm socket and 19mm wrench for the 2 1/2-inch bolts on the driver's side. We are now ready to raise our exhaust back on the rubber isolators. You can now return the underbody panel to the vehicle. If needed, you can trim off this corner to allow a better fitment. Tighten the plastic nuts, but snugly. Do not over tighten, as they are plastic and they will strip. You can now return the spare tire to the vehicle, again using your 9mm socket. Remember to put the drill in reverse to raise the spare tire. Now that our hitch is installed, we've pulled the vehicle onto level ground to show you some important measurements. This is a 2-inch hitch receiver. From the pinhole to the end of the bumper is 4 inches. From the ground to the inside of the top of the receiver is 14 inches. These measurements will help you determine the necessary length, rise, or drop of your hitch accessories, like a ball mount, bike rack, or cargo carrier. If you have any questions about the products seen in this video, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with your local U-Haul hitch professional, please visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. You can also download the U-Haul app using the link in the description for even more ways to manage your hitch and towing needs.